My name is Nadine Pilko, and in the next 45 minutes, we are going to deep dive into personalized nutrition. Before we start, I want to say a big thanks to Biomis. Actually, when I first came across personalized nutrition, it was in 2005 when I watched the movie The Island, where the people in the movie had their blood tested every day and then had to eat meals based on the results. The concept is way older, goes back into the 19th century to things like Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine. Also, scientists began studying metabolism. We're going to hear more about that later, and individual difference in nutrient absorption. In the 20th century, then, for example, there was the Human Genome Project, and insights into nutrigenomics, which means how genes influence nutrition, also came into account. And I'm really happy today to talk about modern personalized nutrition with two experts in the field. Welcome, Dr. Paul Hammer, CEO and founder of Biomis, and Henrike Böhme, brand and communications manager at Nutrition Hub. Paul, your work actually is defined by personalized nutrition. What are you working on, and what fascinated you about it?
Yes, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here and share some of my learnings and expertise in this field. Yes, in my daily work, I'm at Biomes. I'm every day in touch with personalized nutrition. And my journey started personally 2015 at the Pasteur Institute in Paris during the 5th Microbiota Congress of the World Congress, where I realized that not our human DNA, but also our microbiome, so the DNA of all our microbes living in and on our body, has a huge impact of our well-being and our health. And the most famous microbiome is the gut microbiome, the intestinal flora. And from this point on, it was clear that food has a huge impact of our guts, our bugs in our gut. And so there started my journey in this field. And yeah, happy to tell you more in the next minutes.
Thank you so much. Henrike, how is your work touched by precision nutrition, and where did you come across it first?
So actually talking on a very personal level, and if I think back of my childhood and my teenage years, I think I came across personalized nutrition very early on, because I used to be very obsessed with the perfect breakfast, and I was preparing it every morning in the same way. I thought, this oatmeal is going to make me very, very healthy. But to be honest, I didn't even like it as much. And every time I had it, I felt a bit, unsatisfied, tired, and quite hungry again after an hour. And then, I thought I was maybe doing something wrong. I forgot something, but I eventually realized that it might be the perfect breakfast for someone, but it's not the perfect breakfast for me personally. And actually, that was a bit of a turning point in my own personal, let's say, development with nutrition, because you name it, I've tried it, like going with no sugar, going no meat, going blood sugar friendly diet, trying out different foods for my gut health, everything, I was doing the whole thing. So the whole, let's say, idea that healthy eating isn't a one size fits all, but something that is rather for someone specifically and can be individualized, that really has been with me ever since my teenage years. And luckily, I found something also work related. I found something in my professional life where I can actually work on or have touch points with personalized nutrition. So I work with Nutrition Hub, and our flagship project is the Nutrition Trend Report the most recent version we just launched in January this year. And I was very happy and very honored to be actually able to author the report. And it's based on insights of 199 experts of the nutrition field. And this one definitely showed that personalized nutrition is not a niche topic anymore. It's not something that's on the horizon. It's somewhere, far away. it's really something that is growing, has a growing focus, not only for us as nutritional experts, but also for science, for startups, for organizations, corporations, and of course, health professionals, from not only from the field of nutrition, but also from medicine in general. And so, yeah, I definitely had the privilege to listen to and to work with a lot of experts that have this view and this observation on personalized nutrition. And they see it as a major part of how we eat today, but also tomorrow. So, yeah.
Which I think, what I think is very interesting here is that you mentioned things that which I thought are actually healthy for me weren't. Paul, is there actually something such as a healthy as healthy food? Is there a claim we can, or is it everything on a individual level now? Do we have to look at everything on an individual level?
Yeah, good point. I mean, we are all individual with individual properties, also individual microbiome. So this is like a fingerprint, and what food we can good digest, what we can good uptake is depending on our biomarkers, on our genetic profile as well as on our microbiome profile, and therefore our approach at Biomes is to analyze personalized biomarkers to define what kind of food is the best for me in terms of efficiency and also Verträglichkeit. So it's it's working. And the other thing is also to improve your own gut microbiome. So the good thing is the gut microbiome is dynamic. You can change it over life, and you can optimize it with the right food. Also, this is the term to eat healthy food for you, which improves your overall health. And yeah, that's the approach. First, analyze what is really my profile, what I'm missing from good bacteria or bad bacteria, what I have too much from bad bacteria, and then adapt in a personalized way, personalized nutrition, to improve your overall gut microbiota profile.
And when I did my research, I came across a short interview with you, and you were talking about precision prevention.
Yeah.
What actually is that? And could you maybe also give a hint on, is there a difference on precision nutrition and personalized nutrition, or is that the same?
It's quite similar. Yeah. First of all, precision prevention. What does it mean? We are living in a world where we have a disease-orientated healthcare system. We go first to a doctor or a physician when we have symptoms and we feel sick. And when we would change it to a real preventive healthcare system, and that is our vision from Biomes, to support the user, the customer, the people outside with tools and solutions where they can then manage and monitor their health and can adapt their lifestyle, their nutrition style, their food style to a healthy style so that they don't become sick at all. There's also the big buzzword outside longevity, to live and eat the right food that I avoid to become sick at best case. And this is mean by precision prevention, and precision nutrition is going more deeply into this food recommendation, because precision prevention also means sleep, awareness, activity, so the whole lifestyle thing. And precision nutrition is going deeply into what kind of foods can I eat, also what kind of supplements should I take at all supplements, what dosage should I take. So this is all under the term nutrition.
Talking about supplements, Henrike, in the report, I saw that there is also one trend is functional nutrition. Could you give an introduction what the difference is here? Because somehow I have the feeling it's all interconnected, but we're still dividing it into different fields. Why are we doing so, and how is it connected?
Yes, absolutely. I think so when we talk about functional nutrition, and that's something that Paul also mentioned already, it's more about treating something rather than preventing something. And functional nutrition focuses rather on using food and supplements, for example, as a medicine with a very specific goal. So we have for example, a tailored diet that is supposed to support a very particular body system, like the immune system or the digestive system. Or I think we've all seen, drinks that are targeted at your mental energy, focus kind of stuff. Or we've seen, gummy bears that are supposed to make your skin glowing. So they all have a very specific target, let's say. So they target a specific condition, let's say, and it's more therapeutic and less, let's say, data driven and less backed up as personalized nutrition. It usually also contains one very specific health claim, whereas, for example, personalized nutrition looks at the whole thing. So we look at a person that is generally looking to improve its health, and wants to become more like the best version of themselves. And therefore, we do not only target gut health, but we target the whole body as a system, let's say. And we try to personalize small factors within nutrition, but also, as Paul said, with activity or sleep or other things. So we track a lot of data along the way and then try to personalize it as best as possible.
And you're talking about trends. Is this something that is for a long time? Are we talking about stuff that's going to be there in 50 years and it's going to be normal? Or is it something that we're just like having for the next couple of years and then it's going to be gone again? And this is also somehow connected to how the market is developing also with products in the plant-based field, for example, where we see, where we often see there's vitamin B12 added because you need it if you're eating vegan. But if it's wrong, please tell me. So, Henrike, like, where are we heading at? Is it a trend? Is it for a long time, or what is a trend actually? Also a nutrition trend.
Yeah, so a nutrition trend can actually be long-term and short-term, both is possible. But when we ask our experts on what they observe and what they see with their clients, what they see in the market happening, with consumers happening, usually it's something that's been evolving already for a long time. One example is plant-based eating. So with plant-based eating, that's not something we only observe since 2 or 3 years. It's something that's been growing over decades and decades. And it's going to be here for a long time. It's not going to be a trend that's just going to, fall over the edge. It's evolving always. It's changing within, but the trend itself is going to be here for a long time. And actually, using that example, a nutrition trend is definitely first and foremost a shift. So it's a shift in behavior and nutrition behavior specifically. It can also be a shift in awareness, people, knowing more. It can also be a shift in innovation, something from outside. So more developments, more innovation in the field can, change behavior as well. And like I said, one of the reasons why we actually ask experts and not consumers is because they observe it firsthand. A health professional or a nutritional scientist, has 20, 30 clients come in every day, and they can, these experts can tell much better if there's a shift in that behavior or that awareness. And but obviously we've had trends, come and go very quickly. But most of the top, let's say 5 to 10 trends that we observed or that the expert observed in the past reports, they stayed in these reports and they are still amongst the top 10. Whereas we, as nutrition sometimes think, oh, are people not going to be, bored by that? It's not really new trends that we display there. But this is what's happening in society. So just the trend itself is changing. And obviously the outside factors are also changing now with, artificial intelligence, with social media, and other, societal behavior changes that have nothing to do with nutrition. They can influence the nutrition trend itself. And also, we always want to differentiate between, there's always hyped diets, hyped superfoods, something that just, comes in, is here for, I like clean eating, for example, or certain diets from VIPs in the US, But these are not real nutrition trends. These can be rather considered as, a little hype, a food hype or something that can have an influence on a nutrition trend, but it's not a nutrition trend itself. And within that, the whole, personalized nutrition is definitely qualifies as a nutrition trend.
And what makes it crazy is if I think about diets now, it proves actually that they can't really work like having a specific diet because every person is different. Paul, you founded Biomis in 2017. What have you experienced? How did the market develop since then? It's 8 years now, and maybe also B2B. Have there been changes in interest? Could you give us some insights on that?
Sure. When I started Biomes and we started to coding the interpretation out of all the evidence given by the scientific community and by clinical studies. So we worked on this evidence based approach for the interpretation of a single microbiota profile from a person. I was quite a little bit naive to think that we can uncomplex the complexity of nutrition of microbiome by doing this handmade rule book and asking if microbe A, B, or C is high or overrepresented, and take this wording out of this dedicated database and tell it in a report. And I realized quite fast, okay, this is a really hard challenge. And this is coming to the question before, to the trend. The trend was there, and we know we had always some knowledge that we are unique, that we are individuals, but to understand really this complexity of biology behind us is too complex. And now we have this new machine learning, deep learning, AI tools, a new time area. And now we have the first time the tools to unravel this complexity and take out individual insights for using for personalized guidance in terms of nutrition, lifestyle, whatever. And the point is, these tools and solution can only work when you have a really added value to the user. And now we have this time area with this machine learning, and we already collected more than 60,000 individual data sets from users from all over the world. We have customers from more than 110 countries, and we call it a real world data pool because we have data sets from young people from the age of 3 up to people with the age of 100, from people who are healthy and people who are sick. With more, we have also in our data pool more than 400 diseases already covered with more than 50 samples, and this is the best training data set for these machine learning models. And now we are shifting and making and transforming from this handmade rule book and dedicated database with our own trained models, which can now much more better address the user-specific need and the user-specific guidance. And we can, of course, not only look into the gut microbiome profile, we can also combine these individual biomarkers with sensor data about daily activities, daily sleep profiles, and combine that. And when we have sensory data, so we can see changes in a daily routine. And when we have this gut microbiome profile together, we can adjust the person in a personalized way. And the trend will become a real trend and a sustainable trend when these solutions are working. And now I'm convinced that we have the technology behind to generate these solutions where we can help every single user in terms to generate in a term of a specific product market fit for the user needs. Yeah.
Is this something that could turn out as a problem for some companies? Like I just came across, like I just had the thought that maybe at some point insurance companies would say you have to do it, and then you have to eat that, and then this is bad for certain companies because maybe we are all supposed to eat XYZ. And did you ever play with these visions of the future?
You know, in Germany, we have these laws there, and it's not allowed to do such things and give data. We have the GDPR protection law, which is really also, I mean, on one hand, it's difficult for companies to work with this data, but it protects the data of the user. And in the end, the user decides if she would like to provide my own data to companies like Biomes, that I get back some answers to my lifestyle, or nutrition style, what is the best. And in the end, it's the decision by the user, and that's the right way, in my opinion, to have the hand over their own data and to decide, okay, which company I trust and what I get back when I trust this company in terms of the results of the solution from the company. So I think that's good. To share, I mean, in the end, also, should I share as user my data to insurance? Why should I do this? Maybe there are some kind of bonification by the insurance is saying, hey, when you give me your data, you get better bonus or better discounts. I don't know. Yeah. But in the end, the user has to decide what happens with my data and who has access. And that's the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking that maybe it could become mandatory or be mandatory at a certain point when we're looking at how our health system is under pressure because we're eating wrong. I mean, we're always talking about, we're obesity because we're all eating burgers. Well, maybe I'm going to do see, I'm supposed to eat burgers. Actually, that would be nice. No, but you know, could you imagine? No, please.
But this is the wrong way to say, hey, you have to share your data. It's more about education, and we should start education in school already. What does mean healthy nutrition? How can I recognize if this in the supermarket is a healthy nutrition or not? How can I cook by myself? What is not so good for me? I mean, we have no subject about nutrition in the school, at least in Germany. And we don't know. I mean, they're starting education, and when you get it in the school time, you will have it also later in your whole life. And then you know, okay, burgers, you can do it maybe once or two times a week or a month, but you know it's not healthy, but it helped maybe my mental thing, so it's also okay. It's not about abstinence and to avoid everything what is unhealthy. It's also about having a good mindset. But yeah, that's more my approach to educate in young age, already in school age, our population to a healthy life, not only healthy food, also a healthy lifestyle.
Maybe I can add to that real quick because I also had this conversation the other day on actually all of our trends that are in the report, because I was asked the question whether these observations come from every, let's say, if the people that are being observed, if they're diverse enough, if we, the trends really are a reflection of the whole society, or whether that's just a very small, group of people that have access to, education, but also the tools. And obviously, in a trend report, it's not about really everyone. It's about, what's in the future. So we allow ourselves to dream big and to think big, but at the same time, we also have to admit that, especially with personalized nutrition, it's a perfect example. If the whole base system is not working properly, if the education of the youngest, as you said, Paul, it's not there yet, and people don't know what a healthy nutrition looks like, there's no sense really to roll out personalized nutrition programs all over the country, let's say, or to make the tools accessible for everyone if they can't really do anything with that information. So it's really about making the system and the people educated enough and aware enough to know how to use everything in a safe manner and to make their own decisions. And that's also one of the things that came out of the report, that people are just way more focused now on making their own decisions about the health, and also being responsible for the consequences, and let's say, yeah, not being dependent on others to make that decision for them. And I think that's a very healthy balance there that we viewed, or that we observed and the expert observed. And there's just so much potential if let's say, if the base is there, but we still need to work on the base for sure.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
We already touched technology when talking to your experts, and I put down 69% attach importance to precision nutrition. I think was the second most important trend in this year's report. Is there any technology that they talk about also, or are there any devices? I know there are rings and stuff out there where you collect data. What's there in future? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so actually also just to point out the development, this year, yes, it was at the second place on the number 2 trend of 2025. And the last report that we published, 2023, was on number 5. It was still among the top 10 already, but as you can see, it's growing steadily. And the conversation itself also changed a bit. So there was definitely more talking about what kind of tools we can use, or that are already out there and that will be out there. So we're talking a lot of diagnostics, as Paul also said a couple of times already. So it's all about individual testing. It's all about, microbiome testing, DNA testing, food testing also on what you can, what can you eat or what can't you really digest well. There's so many tests already out there. Obviously, it's very hard for the consumer to differentiate what's really scientifically backed up and what's not. What is, a legitimate testing tool that I can buy, and maybe where should I be careful? So this causes a lot of confusion as well. But in general, the experts saw an absolute rise of, digital tools, as well as tracking devices, not only the rings, but the watches, sleep trackers, so that everything can be optimized. And people really want to optimize nowadays. They want, in the report we called it, they want to become their own CEO of health. So they really want to take matters in their own hand. And for us, or let's say for the industry, for health professionals, this let's call it proof of concept for now, or these tools, they could be a very actionable and more concrete tool to use, and they could help immensely in research and then eventually in practice. But of course, all the time the goal is to really have scientifically backed up solutions only, that can really help and not confuse, let's say, the patient or the user itself. And that was something that amongst the experts was a lively discussion for sure, because like I said, with the amount of tools that are there, also the amount of confusion rises or can rise.
Paul, I could imagine when people are collecting the data sets that maybe, and you've got a certain amount of data right now, is there anything such as a cluster? Like, could you say people from 20 to 30, they usually have, and maybe they should eat more of, could we generalize and have not like personalized nutrition on an individual level, but more on a group of people, like elderly people, children? Are you working on that, and also maybe product development in that direction?
Yes. I mean, it makes sense in this field where we are now in this time, make more groups, personalized grouping, gender, age, where they're living, disease orientated, whatever. So you can group this. And we are doing this, for example, for the supplements. So when we see, okay, what kind of good and bad bacteria do you have in your gut profile, what functions are missing, what good bacteria you are missing, then we can group you to a personalized type. We call it a probiotic type. And then we can give you a recipe which fits perfectly to your group where you belongs to. And so that's actually the approach, analytic based, personalized supplements, as well as also the nutritions or the foods. I would like to add but some words to Henrike. I think the most important thing for the consumer is that it is a simple approach and that's user friendly. And it's not only the testing of the biomarker or the sensor data, and the intervention now, eat this probiotic or eat this food. It's more, and it's actually, in my opinion, the most important thing, the personalized guidance to nudge on a daily basis a person to change the mindset to a healthy lifestyle and a nutrition style. And therefore, you need these daily touch points, yes, and with some kind of gamification, entertainment, storytelling. And this all with these 10,000 steps. If you have it, you're happy, yes, good day. And with these smaller psychological communications, you can shift the behavior of the user to a more healthy lifestyle. And this is actually also where we are currently working in biomes. And this is also only possible, in my opinion, with this new AI trend, because with the right tracking, we have not only the gut microbiota profile of our users during the activation process of the sample, the user can give us optionally can answer up to 25 questions about nutrition, lifestyle, what kind of healthcare questions, and these data we can use then, metadata we call it, together with the gut microbiome profile for prompting the right guidance, focusing on the issue of the user, because real world data. So we have users that are sportsmen, women who are high performant. They are not really ill or sick. And then we have people with overweight. Then we have people with nutrition intolerances or allergies. We have people with type 2 diabetes. So there are a lot of different users outside, like we are all different. But the user coming to us and they don't want to have one report for all. They want a user-specific report and also user-specific recommendation and guidance. And this, we are working with machine learning and AI approaches now to overcome. So simply and user-friendly and best case also are payable. These are the main factors to become it also on a mass market. That's the way we would like to go now.
Do we need products tailored to different needs then at all, or is this just like if I'm, for example, producing plant-based meat, should I, get in touch and talk about how can we make our products more healthy for a certain group? Like we're talking about food service as a gateway to people, and maybe using food service hospitals or whatever to, provide a certain nutrition and develop certain products tailored to their needs. Are you working together with people, Paul or Henrike? Have you heard something about this from your experts?
I mean, there are already really healthy foods outside. Yeah, you can do traditionals like kefir, like yogurt, like fermented food, sauerkraut, kimchi, and it's more about the awareness not to eat too much red fat meat or processed food. Yeah, coming back more to traditional behavior of food consumption. But of course, you can improve by specific processes, by meat lab, by fermentation processes. You can improve food. The point is more or less to pick up the right foods then. Yeah, as one side you improve the food coming more and more on the market, and then with the biomarker, you can decide, okay, that is now the right food for me. So I think that's the interaction of these two different fields.
Yeah, I also think that, just in general, it can coexist, let's say, because yeah, I think overall it's just very important that, I think we as experts, I mean, we see it every day. Also, we hear it every day in our talks with nutritional scientists that this one size fits all model has really reached its limits, and but within the mass market, I think there's so much potential let's say to combine the functional food products that are still available or yeah, that are working in the mass market, but to offer small twitches where personalized nutrition then is possible, just to make it, more effective, just in general, food and nutrition more effective, more inclusive, more empowering for everyone to make healthy choices there, really. Yeah.
And when we're talking about these products and development in plant-based, cultivated, fermentation, of course, definitely really important for the market. We're also talking about a sustainable food system in general. Which role can personalized nutrition play there? Is there a role at all, an influence on having a more sustainable food system?
Definitely. I mean, maybe Paul, I start, but you can definitely
Sure.
add from your perspective. So sustainable nutrition was amongst the top, 3 trends in the report as well. And it's obviously the whole, each and every trend has connecting points. So not one trend is just standing on its own. It always one goes with the other. And sustainable nutrition can definitely be supported and backed up by personalized nutrition. We can use all this data that we are gathering from people, hopefully at some point in a very healthy and ethical way. And with that, we can, encourage lower food waste, in order to, if we know really what people eat, when and how, so that we can optimize the amount that is, for example, served not only in hospitality, but also in canteens and hospitals and everything. So there's a lot of potential in the data to actually lower food waste, to lower overconsumption, to support people in their choices, to make more sustainable choices, to educate them on what is really sustainable and what is not, because I think a lot of us still are very confused in front of the supermarket areas, when we think, okay, I have 10 kinds of apples now, which is the most sustainable choice. It's overwhelming sometimes, and I think personalized nutrition can be a tool for people, to make better decisions. But obviously, to get there, it still needs to be much more accessible. It needs to be integrated into broader systems, education, policy, food production, all these kinds of things, to actually have a real impact on sustainability itself. But there's definitely, in our view and what we see from the experts, there's definitely a strong connection.
Yes, I absolutely agree. It's surely, first of all, you eat what you really need. So
Yeah.
no waste of food or something what's not necessary, but also in terms of health overall over the population. When you eat healthy, you will have less unhealthy people outside, and this is a high burden of our society. And looking more into this prevention, precision approach would help also sustainable, to decrease the cost of our healthcare system, and also to have a healthier population in the end, which are also more producible. More producible means also more outcome in the end for the whole society. So it's not only about food sustainability, it's overall sustainability, to go to this personalized healthcare, personalized nutrition and lifestyle approach.
Well, one thing that also came across my mind and which confused me a bit is on the one side having this personalized nutrition and talking about me being very focus on my body and my health, and I don't remember how you called it, Henrike, but being the personal CEO
of your own health.
of my own health, and on the other hand, being more convenient, having things like what's it called, this injection for as a diet.
Yes.
How does that go together? Is this like, does this go in the same direction, or are we maybe societally dividing up into two groups, or can you explain that to me? The confusion is there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the injection against adipositas, overweight, it's fighting a symptom, but the fundamentally different is personalized nutrition, avoid to getting the symptom at all. So that has to be aware. I mean, of course, for the business model, for the pharma company, it's great to have these nice injection to help people with overweight, and this can be the beginning. But the mindset has to be changed in these patients to live healthier and eat healthier, and therefore that are two different things for me. And we have to think more about, okay, what's sustainable, and that is personalized lifestyle and nutrition.
But I think there might be people also who aren't really obese and take these injections. Like I always have to eat convenient. I want to eat my French fries and have my burgers and whatever. And so I'm just going to take the injection. And on the other hand, we have these people who have their guts analyzed and then say, okay, I'm only allowed to eat blah, 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 blah. So I think there is quite a... Henrike, please share your thoughts.
Yeah, because we actually also had that topic and mentioned a lot of times by experts in the report, because Ozempic, the GLP-1 agonists, they're also a trend, let's say, but they're not a nutrition trend. They're more like a hype, let's say, a medical revolution in that sense, something that we discovered that can help people lose weight very easily, or most of them easily, but the experts also viewed it as a quick fix. So it's something that you can very, quickly acquire, and in the best case lose weight within, I don't know, 2-3 months, some longer, some shorter. And I understand your confusion that it's a very, very different from what we've been talking about, because personalized nutrition is a long-term health journey. It's self-awareness, lifestyle choices. It's a big project that we conquer, let's say, in comparison to that. And a lot of the people that I had a conversation with from the report, they said, in the best case, both can coexist. So you can have medications that offer short-term solutions, but they are always paired with support, nutritional support, medical support. And so on the one side, you have the advantages of the consultant, let's say, of a health consultant, for example, that emphasizes the data, that helps you use the data in the right way, that gives you empowerment, individual responsibility. And then as a tool, you can use something as GLP-1 agonist like Ozempic, for example. And then integrating both approaches, I think, is a very big chance. We shouldn't just, talk bad about the one thing and say, oh, those people are just lazy. No, some people have been, fighting with obesity for years, and I think it's a great solution for them. So if you can really integrate both approaches, and you can really use something like Ozempic as a tool for personalized nutrition, for sure.
So 1 minute left. What is your vision of the future for personalized nutrition? Paul, do you want to start?
Yeah, surely. I hope and I believe that in some years, maybe 5 up to 10 years, personalized nutrition is a part of our everyday life, like using now or starting using now smart watches and tracking our fitness, our sleep profiles. And it will be easy, digital, and a part of what we eat and how we live. So this is my belief.
I agree, first of all.
Yeah.
Obviously, I could say a lot now about how many more tools we'll have and how many more gadgets we're going to use, but I think the vision should be accessibility, so that really everyone from every societal background can use the advantages of personalized nutrition in an educated and scientific way, and not be blindsided by everything that's along the way.
Thank you so much, both of you, for your insights. Has been really, really interesting. I've just thought about maybe we could have something like an analysis of the microbiome of Earth, and then have the personal recipe for how to have a sustainable future for food. Thank you out there for listening, and don't forget to put down our next update on new products, May 15th. I hope you're going to have a beautiful day and maybe start with a bit of personalized nutrition.